the fuel for a three-peat is just waking up every day and someone does not like my team. That's my fuel. It's like we still have to prove to y'all that we are the best of the best. It doesn't take a lot for me to get motivated. It doesn't take a lot for me to get ticked off. It's a sense to where you're going to get the best Asia on the court.
And we just kept the main thing, and we came out on top. And I can't express how proud I am of my teammates. They picked me up when I was down. We cried together, prayed together, and now we popping champagne together.
Welcome to Boardroom's cover story. I'm sitting here with Asia Wilson. Asia, how are you feeling?
Good. I'm good. I've never dressed this nice in a practice facility before.
Asia, I want to start off. I know you already know this, but for those at home and who will be watching this, we need no introduction on just the many accolades that you've acquired in.
Thank you.
You're short, but what feels like a lengthy career already. I want to talk a little bit more about winning last year's championship. Back-to-back, but now we're talking about 3 in a row, which not a lot of franchises can say they even have one to their name.
Yeah.
How do you envision what the season looks like heading into another defending title?
I feel like this season's going to be like any other season, honestly. I feel like, yes, the league has gotten a lot better over this off season. A lot of different teams added a lot of different great pieces for their franchises. So I feel like I've been so used to coming into the league and having that target automatically on our backs, and a lot of people talking about Vegas. It's going to be no different. We're going to attack this season just like we would any other year. It's just we want to get another one. Yes, we are defending 2, but we just want to get another one. That's really pretty much the goal every season, is to be better than we were last year. So I'm not even trying to put that pressure on my teammates and myself, because it's kind of already there, like through media, through fans, through social, it's there. But as long as our locker room has peace and understand that, like, no, we have enough inside of our locker room to do whatever we want to do, that's what's really going to be the difference in this season.
And I want to speak a little bit about your teammates, because there's the communication and the strength on the court, but obviously off the court, you all have such a good rapport, and we can see it via social media and just the fun that you have. And so how do you manage to find the through line between having that relationship within the locker room? Give us a little peek at what it's like communicating with one another in there, and then taking that on to the court and dominating as you've all been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it starts off court before it even gets on court, because if you're not meshing off the court, it's very, very hard to let it translate over in games, particularly when things are going not the best and in your favor. That's when you need to lean on your teammates the most. And I feel like we form that camaraderie off court that is like unbreakable, like an unbreakable bond. And I'm very particular about who we even allow in our locker room, because that's how sacred it is to me. Because I love my teammates. They are my sisters. They are my road dogs. I know I can call them at any time. Somebody's going to answer, because that's how much we care for each other. But along that, we've sacrificed a lot. We have a lot of like self-accountability that I really appreciate from my teammates, because they can look at me and be like, oh, that's just Asia. Like, she's the star. She's this, that, and the third. But no, they look at me as like, no, you're one of us. Like, you're no different. And I love that, because they hold me accountable on things. But yet at the same time, they allow me to grow. They allow me to make mistakes. But they kind of like, they check me. And that's what I love the most. And I feel like we do that to each other. It's like, nah, sometimes we got to get checked. And that's the most respect that we have.
Who is the funniest and the most honest person in the locker room?
I'm not just saying that because she is somewhere in this building. But no, Sydney Colson is probably the funniest and the honest. And I love her for that. She's someone that is going to be my ride or die. She's someone that's going to really hit me in my chest and be like, no, remember who you are. And that doesn't get talked about a lot, because it's not in the scoreboards. It's not in the stat sheet. But those are the locker room pieces that you need. And then, I mean, it goes from just Jackie, Chelsea, Kelsey, it just goes down the line from there as to being the ones that's the honest ones, the ones that are going to let you know, like, no, we need you. Like, you're lost. You're fading. You're blending. We need that. We need to bring it out of you. And that's what I love the most, is like, we're not scared of speaking our truth. And I think that's what do you get when you get 12 women in the locker room? You're going to get some honesty. You're going to get some hard questions being asked. But no, we love what we do, and we come in every single day ready to work. And that's our locker room.
And, you know, it's what's really fascinating is that you've been so blessed to be coached by 2 of the most successful women in pro basketball.
Yes.
At the collegiate level, at the professional level. Just talk a little bit about your relationship with both Staley and now Becky Hammon, and how much you've learned from them and how that fuels you as you continue ascending in your career.
Man, I am super blessed, so lucky to be able to have 2 phenomenal women. Like, they are players, coaches to the root. Like, their honesty, their will to just be so open with us to get the best out of us is something that goes such a long way with me, because I'm that type of player where I'm just like, just tell me what you need out of me and I guarantee you I will do it times 10. Like, I'm not with the sugarcoating, please don't kiss my ass. I don't know if I can cuss on this. Please don't kiss my ass, because that's not needed. I don't grow in those spaces, and they allow me to be like, be coached. And I love that. And Coach Staley was someone that has checked off every single box that I wanted to be. And to have a black woman in that space that's not really wanted, that's taking over, is something that I'm like, no, I need her to guide me, particularly in my collegiate years. And then I got lucky to be coached by Bill Lambier, and he kind of held me down in my beginning stage. And then here comes Becky Hammon that really kind of allowed me to blossom, and she kind of repotted the plant. She was like, no, now you can really grow. We have space for you to grow. Now let's build you up to the MVP caliber that I know you have inside. So I'm lucky. I'm so blessed. Every time I see them with a clipboard, I'm like, ooh, that's my girl. I like being on the cover of things. It's kind of cool. So yeah, to see Boardroom and just see how much it's grown over these years, and particularly highlighting just women athletes, it's going to be a lot of fun just being on the cover.
I think the most exciting thing is that short of getting dressed is that it's a really fluid conversation between two black women. And so I think that's the most exciting part of this entire process, is how it'll all come together, surrounded by greatness amongst us.
For sure. Yes, I love it. That's so special. Yeah.
By the way, I love the gray.
The fuel for a 3P is just waking up every day and someone does not like my team. That's my fuel. It's like we still have to prove to y'all that we are the best of the best. That's my fuel enough. Like, we still have stuff out there that we can do, that we can show. I think right there is the fuel. And then that, yes, with my parents going back to South Carolina saying, yeah, my daughter got another one. Yes, that's fuel as well. So it doesn't take a lot for me to get motivated. It doesn't take a lot for me to get ticked off into sense to where you're going to get the best Asia on the court.
You feel like we're witnessing a dynasty in the making?
Yeah, I feel like we are. We got to win, obviously, a lot more for me to say, yes, we're a dynasty. But yeah, I think we are definitely forming legendary locker rooms for the W, the team that is going to be in history, to where when we look back on this and there's another just growth of the W and people looking back, it's going to be like talks with y'all remember them Las Vegas Aces, and you're going to know exactly who they're talking about. So yes, I think a dynasty starting.
Short of winning a championship, what looks like a successful Aces season to you?
Like, without winning a championship? Hey, that's hard, because championship is the standard. We've now developed a culture where that's all we do. When we step on this court, that is our mindset. So if people want to call it ring chasing, then yeah, we are ring chasing. Like, that is us. Like, because we set that bar, we set that standard so high that it's like, when you put this uniform on, you have to understand exactly what goes on here. It's the culture, it's the standard that we built, and you have to uphold it. So I can't even give you an answer to respond of anything short of a championship, because my mind would never let me go there, because that is not even a part of me that I'm even thinking about.
Well, I mean, I think it's worth mentioning, with all the accolades that we've talked about, is we only hear about GOATs when it comes to men's basketball or men athletes. But correct me if I'm wrong, I would be so far as to even call you a GOAT in training, a budding GOAT. And you got to play with another GOAT, Candace Parker, before she called it a career. Yeah. And how do you rank yourself, or how do you rank anyone else? I know you call Candace Parker your GOAT. Yeah. But do you feel that GOAT conversation in your head and think, I could be a part of that one day?
I would love that. I would love to have my name mentioned in conversations when you're talking about the greatest women's basketball player to ever play. I would love my name to be in that conversations, but in my eyes, I still have a lot more that I have to do to even be in that conversation, because I still feel like I feel like they've only seen the tip of the iceberg. I feel like I'm only letting people see pieces as I'm getting throughout my career, and I'm like, oh, just wait until I'm really trying to get there and work towards that. Like, right now, obviously I'm having fun with it and I love what I do, but I still feel like I have so much to give that's like, yeah, I would love my name to be in those conversations always, because I worked my butt off to get to that point. But I still feel like I have a long way to go to even think about it. So go to in training, heavy on the in training, because I still have so much to give, so much to really still prove. I still got to win more. Like, I feel like I still got to win. I'm like, really, it's cool. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's nice. Like, whoa. But I still feel like it's like, I don't know, it's people still out there saying it ain't good enough. And that right there is all I need. Mere fact, I got 4th place and an MVP voting. So, like, in my eyes, it's still someone out there saying I'm not good. So every time now I got to say, all right, bet, let's go ahead and show these people who's really good. So that's my mindset.
But I do wonder, I mean, there are people that say that LeBron or Michael is not good enough because they may have lost in that. And so...
But 4th place in MVP voting in a year that I've had better than my MVP before is mind-blowing to me. So that right there spoke volumes to me. And it's something that I'm going to always bring up because I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I got to make it make sense in my mind, and that means to go out there and play.
What were your first thoughts when...
First thoughts?
You didn't get MVP.
You know, when it comes to these, like, postseason awards, you just kind of get a feel of, like, either you got it or you don't. Like, you just kind of get a feel for it. And so throughout the whole season, it was very, like, like, okay, like, cool. My team, I'm just trying to win. Like, that was my mindset. It was like, no, we're doing something special here. Like, we're on our way to winning this thing again. And so it was like, I never really got the feeling until I got Defensive Player of the Year. And then that's when I started to kind of get the feeling like, oh, nah, I ain't get it this year. I was like, I ain't got MVP. Like, I was just like, it just was like something just within me was like, I ain't get it. So my mind was already prepped for me not to get it. And I was cool with it because, like, the other candidates, I get it, like 100%. Not going to take anything away from them. Very respectful, my dogs, like, yes. But then when it came out of, like, the numbers and, like, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and I saw that one at 4th, just the switch went off in my mind, and I was like, bet, let's get it. And then from there on, it was just kind of like, cool, like, say less. Like, anything else y'all need me to do, bet I'm going to be professional about it. But once we get between these 94 feet, it's a wrap. Like, I don't see nothing but the goal in my teammates. And so it was a bittersweet moment. It's something that I was like, all right, bet, let's rock with it. And so I'm thankful for it because I got finals MVP and we won us another one. But it was definitely a moment where I was like, oh, okay, cool. Politics.
Did that getting finals MVP kind of solidify that you should have received league MVP?
No, I don't think I didn't need to solidify anything. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, oh, thanks. Like, I'll take it. Great. But I got something bigger, and that's the actual championship. So it was one of those things where it was like, okay, cool. Like, once the numbers came out and once I saw, like, I didn't get it, I was like, bet. Like, that was then. Then I was just like, all right, now I can solely focus on just winning a championship, and that's it. So did it solidify? Sure, but it was like, cool. I just kind of took the trophy and was like, bet, let's go in the back of hot box.
Like, we'll take that.
I was like, thanks, we'll take it. This is cool. I don't know what I would name him. Marie for most, Valerie for valuable, Marie and Valley. And if I got another one, I got to be like Penelope for player.
This wasn't really a sports town.
Not at all.
And within the last half decade, we've seen it really sports take over. It's obviously glitz, glamour, entertainment. But what do you like the most about being in Vegas? And what do you think people may get wrong about Vegas being a new sports town, a championship city?
My answer kind of answers both questions. It's like, I love the fact that it's so homey. Like, everyone thinks it's just the strip. Everyone thinks it's just like the glitz and the glamour. But it's like, what we do in Mandalay Bay is very homey. Like, it's very like, bring a friend, like, come watch this show. Like, I feel like we're just a show, just not acrobats. Like, it's like we're showing ourselves, but you could bring your family to. You could really sit down and like enjoy the game. And that's what I love the most about it. And I think that's the part that people don't really understand is like, it is a lot of fun. Like, WNBA games are fun. Like, I mean, I can only speak for the Las Vegas Aces. Our games are the bomb. We are great at what we do. And so like, when you come, it's like, wow, like, no, they're really good at what they do. And so I think that's the part that people don't really like know about because they don't want to give it a chance. It may not be as flashy as they want it to be, but it's still a lot of fun to go to. So I love the fact that we're forming this championship kind of city town going around. Because I remember my first year, we didn't even make it to postseason. So I went home very, very early So to now kind of play through the end and have a town come around us, I mean, our parades are awesome. It's just like, wow, we really built this from the ground up.
The W season starts soon, but in the preseason, we've already seen a little bit of controversy when it came to streaming the games. And despite the growth of women's basketball, we still reached even just some sort of conflict like that. What was, I can already can tell you have thoughts.
Good Lord. Sometimes, I don't even know how to word this. I don't even know how to word this in a safe way. I'm looking at it. It's like we know the moment is coming, but we don't know how to just be ready for it. I feel like sometimes we have to let stuff hit the fan to then be like, oh, snap. And it's like we can't do that now. That may have worked years ago, but right now in the moment, we have to be ready for anything because the first impression it has to be the best impression when we're talking about the WNBA. So I think for us as the W, and I'm speaking for an entire league right now, which is scary, we have to really be better at being ready and in the moment. We're in a movement, and I pray it's a movement and not a trend because we die down very, very quickly. People die down. The hype be here, then it drops. But the movement, I feel like we have to do a better job of understanding what the movement is and being ready for that and know that this is the growth that we've been wanting. This is the growth that we've needed, and now it's about time. So now it's like, no, people watch us. Like, we're not getting the go back in the kitchen comments, the make me a sandwich comments. It's now like, no, fly us out. Like, people are in my DMs saying, we want to get flued out. So it's a moment where it's like, people are watching us. Like, we have people streaming on their phones and having people that are tuned into that on an IG live. So it's like, no, this is the moment that we need to capitalize. This is the moment that we need to welcome these people and these fans because this is the growth that we've been wanting. Like, I feel like the growth kind of took the league. It kind of was like off guard. And it's like, we can't do that anymore. So hopefully this was a huge lesson learned. And that now that we know we can grow from here and the best is yet to come. But I feel like in a lot of senses, we're just not prepared for the moment. And now it's like, we can't not have those moments anymore. It's now or never. Like, we have to capitalize on this.
I want to talk a little bit about, obviously, with the season starting, it's an Olympics year.
Yeah.
And we were both in Paris last month where they unveiled the ensembles everyone's going to be wearing. And you're going to be there.
Yeah.
So what is just that general feeling? You're going to be joined with teammates that did beat you for the MVP vote and some that are just entering the league.
Yeah.
So what's your mentality entering these summer games?
Oh, to win gold, to continue the standard, continue what the lovely legends of the W laid the foundation down for us back in '96. Like, that is my biggest thing, is to make sure when I put on that Olympic 9 jersey that I'm representing something that's just bigger than just Wilson on the back. Like, that is a jersey that has been worn by greatness on both sides. So I have to make sure that I am up to par when it comes to those things and making sure that my teammates also understand what the standard is that we have to achieve. Like, it's literally gold or nothing. And that's a lot of pressure. It really is. But that's my mindset going into as soon as W season's taking a break. It's just one of those gears that switches on for me. And I'm like, all right, well, it's time to really focus on the big picture right now, and that's to win gold and to understand that we're coming back home with that and just to have fun with it. Like, this is a big opportunity. This is the world stage, and you can shine so bright on this stage and get some new fans and also make the remaining fans happy. So it's a big moment. I'm always excited. Olympic years, it's a lot. It goes by quickly, but I'm super excited for this summer. That is cute.
In your New York Times bestseller, Dear Black Girls, you speak about the impact that Dawn Staley had in your life. And I want to read one excerpt in particular. As a young woman, all you want to be is seen and heard by somebody else. Dawn Staley saw me. Don't get me wrong, Coach was not a softie. Dawn Staley is Philly through and through. Thank God for Dawn Staley for real. There are multiple instances across your book when you do mention that, and it could be difficult as a Black woman to find your footing in a world that doesn't necessarily look at us or respect us. How did Dawn cultivate that and make you feel comfortable with not only in yourself, but to really be the most authentic athlete?
She allowed me to be me. Like, she allowed me to be sad. She allowed me to cry. She allowed me to be happy. Like, it was never a moment where it was just like I felt uncomfortable around her, because she was like, no, I want you to be open. Tell me about your board problems in college. Like, she allowed me to be human. And I don't think we get to be that a lot as Black women, because we have to put on that super cape and be like, I'm here to stay and no one can shake me. And don't get me wrong, we're great at that. But sometimes your crown kind of it tilts. And you just gotta need somebody to adjust it for you. And Coach Staley was that to me. She adjusted my crown for me and never allowed me to like lull in just like not being me, like being me, being true to that. Like, how's your day going? She asked me those normal questions. And I think that's what allowed me to grow into the young lady that I am today. Like, my parents did an awesome job. They did. But I'm so glad that they kind of let that leash go and allow Coach Staley to kind of take me under her wing and say, no, this is how you can be a professional, but don't lose yourself in that. And now I'm here.
And it's really funny that you bring up your parents, because I think one thing that we share in common is a very healthy and successful relationship with our parents. And you also mentioned in your book just how much they've guided you, from everything from your mom staying on the phone with you as you navigated Las Vegas traffic to just being there for the most dramatic moments of your career so far. I wanted you to open up a little bit more about what the impact that your parents not only had on you as growing up, but now that they cut the cord, so to speak.
Yeah, they did cut the umbilical cord really quick. I was like, hold up now. Don't let me grow up too fast. But they were just like, bye. Like, go do it. Go explore the world. This is what we raised you to do. And I love them to death, because they gave me the perfect harmony, like the perfect balance of just who I wanted to be. Like, my dad was like, no, I want you to be the greatest on the court, and I want you to stand out no matter what. Like, the coach should look down and be like, why isn't Asia in the game? Like, I should be that good. And my mom was like, well, no, I need you to know how to be a young lady. I need you to know how to keep your nose clean and know, like, hold your head up high. And when you enter into rooms, make sure people know that you're there. And they just allow me to have this blessing of just growing up. Like, I looked a hot mess at a young age. And my parents were like, let's not take a lot of pictures of her because, she's good. She's going to her glow-up stage. And I thank them for that. It kind of saved me in a way. But at the same time, they allowed me to grow into myself and not lose sight of who I am, and saying, no, you're still beautiful. Here are these pearls. Have confidence in yourself. Have that little sass. Like, be you. And they just did an incredible job of just allowing me to be me. Like, I got so... when the spotlight started to brighten on me, it just like, it wasn't me. Like, I'm like, I don't want to be out like this. Like, I'm good home, just playing basketball, doing what I love, going with my friends. And they allowed me to have that peace when that spotlight started to brighten. They were like, yes, it's going to be there. And when it's time, shine bright. But always know that you could come back home and be that young girl that doesn't want to do anything. And that's what I love the most about them.
When you talk about your glow up stage,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Okay. What's one word that you would use to describe?
I don't have one word that would change it. I would just say money does change. Money can buy happiness. It can. It can buy you a whole lot of things, which can make you happy. So what I'm saying is, yes, I don't have no one word, because one word, I cannot put that in one word. But what I will say is, yes, when you get some dollars, it can make you happy.
So your glow up stage was more so fueled by the fact
money.
that you had money. Okay, that's the honesty.
My glow up stage once, because my parents were just like, if it's coming out of our pocket, you don't really need it. Like, you're good. We're giving you everything you need. Anything else? So once I started getting, my little coin, I was like, all right, I can start to get my teeth right, get my brows right. And then the glow up began. But before, when I was on my parents' budget, it was no glow up. Never. It was like, it took me forever just to get braces. And I'm like, Mom, everybody got braces in middle school. She was like, well, you're not going to have no braces here? No, because we need to pay for this private school. So I was like, all right. So I had to go through this little, I don't want to say ugly stage, because I was very beautiful. I had a great personality. I was cool, but I just was not there yet. Then slowly, I started to be like, all right, I got to start getting myself up. Like, my face is starting to be a lot of different places, so it needs to look up to par. And that's when money came into the picture. The rest is history.
Asia means the absolute world to me. At the top of the list for me is my pride in her faith. The faith that she carries no matter what, the unwavering faith that she has in what her God will do for her and what she feels her God will do for others.
Her unwavering desire to be excellent. And that is not an easy thing to do, but she strives all the time to get that done. She carries herself as a woman, she carries herself as an athlete, and she carries herself as a godly human being. She's my favorite human being.
Repaying my parents is so hard because I don't even think there's enough tangible things that I could do to repay how much they've sacrificed for me, how much they love for me. Like, I remember growing up, people probably thought my parents were so coddling and just so like, let her live. But they were so particular on who I could be around, what I could show, who, like, how I spoke, because they're like, no, you're going to be good. You're going to be the best of the best. And so when it came to repaying them, I just feel like, and my dad sometimes had to say, he's like, I'm living my dream watching my daughter live hers. And I'm trying not to cry because my parents have done so much for me. Like, I can't even put into words about how much they've sacrificed for me to get to this point. So I'm just like, every time I step foot on that court, every time I'm seen somewhere, I'm just like, I have to shine the brightest because my parents, I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. And I am my parents' dream. Like, I hope that I could just show that. Like, when I beam with joy, it is because my parents have really just put that into me. So the least I can do is share with the world, because those are my heartbeats. They give. So I feel like the only tangible thing I really did for my mom was retire her, so now she could be around me even more. But no, my dad, I think just playing the game that he loved, the game that he played, is a gift in itself. So that's why every time I play with so much passion, because I'm like, hey, my dad instilled it to me. I'm not going to let this go to waste. Like, I'll go get this work. So, yeah.
Well, you are the standard. Everything that we've already discussed.
Thank you.
I know that you feel like you have a long way to go, but what does the standard, Asia Wilson being the standard, look like to you?
The standard is top tier. When you think of top tier, top shelf, it's things that is like, no, it's up there for a reason. Like, they're up there for a reason. And that is my standard, is making sure that whatever I do, it's like, no, that's Asia. Like, that is her. Like, when I'm taking pictures or when I'm doing interviews or anything, it's kind of like, no, that's her. That's Asia through and through. And that's top tier. Like, nothing ever bottom tier, nothing in puddle. We think in ocean. Like, it's big. And yeah, go big or go home. And it's one of those things where people call me dramatic. I don't know where they get that from. Never dramatic. But no, be dramatic. Be you. And that's me. So top tier is the standard. And I never want to ever be below that.
The standard, and you're also marketable.
Yeah. Apparently some people don't think I am, but we're here.
Oh, let's get into that. So not only, why don't people think that? And what do you say to the criticism for those who believe you're not marketable?
Why do people not think I'm marketable? I have no idea. I really don't. It could be a million different reasons, but I honestly don't know. But what I do love is with the people that do think I'm marketable, with my lovely sponsors and people that really kind of rally behind me and make sure that they push me to the forefront and show me in my truest forms. That's the ones that I love. Those are the ones that I love. The ones that know how to take on a young black girl that is in the league, that is trying her best, crushing it, how to uplift her in spaces that's like have to do with hair or have to be on a potato chip bag or like drinking a drink. Like those things there, it's like, oh, she's bigger than an athlete. Like, let's dive into her story. So I'm very appreciative of what I have when it comes to the marketing side. And then I'm like, well, we don't stop here. Like, I have an amazing team around me with my agency that's like, no, let's continue to push you out there. Like, let's have your face be seen, because if you can see her, you can be her. Let those young kids believe in them. Like, have something to believe in, have something to want to be. It's like my main goal. And so is that marketable to some? Yes. And those are the ones that I'm focusing on.
Throughout your book, you mentioned that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, just your journey and how people perceived you as younger. Talk a lot about your mental health. That's been a big part of you as well. How do you continue to keep that at the forefront? Because all that criticism, it does play into your perception of yourself.
For sure. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, as an athlete, we live in a world where if one person says one thing about you, the type of platform that they're on can now sprinkle that, and it can spew it into everyone else's head. And now you're like, wait, that's not me. But for me, I try to make sure that when I am seen, I'm seen in a light that is so genuinely me that people can understand and relate where I'm coming from, whether that's just having days where I hate being Asia Wilson. I want to cry on my pillow. Having days where I pray and I'm so thankful for where I am today. And having days where I just kind of want to go to the movies by myself and just sit there in complete silence, or just go eat somewhere and just be on the phone with my friends. Like, being real is something that I love to be because it protects my peace. It protects my mental, because in a world as an athlete, million people are saying tons of different things about us, good, bad, or ugly. And you could get caught up in that because you're like, I worked so hard to get to this. How dare you say something like that about me? You don't even know me and wouldn't say those things to me if you actually met me. And so I feel like I can't even get caught up in that, because I would never be genuinely happy and I would never be myself, because I'm constantly trying to people please. And I even wrote that in my book about how I was once a people pleaser, imposter syndrome. It sucks. But then once I grew out of that, I found peace in who I am, and I love who I'm becoming and who I am today. That's where I find it. And now I just bring up along people that are on the same wave. And I'm so thankful to be in a spot where people can love on me, tell me things that I need to hear, not things that I want to hear, and have fun with that.
So it seems like the standard for you is an imperfect person that, while she has all these accolades, is still consistently working on herself.
100%. I have a tattoo that says beautifully flawed. And I think that is so me. It's like, I have so many flaws. I am not perfect. Things that I'm like, ugh, I don't even want that, but here we are. But I love those things. Those are the imperfections that I love so much. Is something that's just me.
I think the most authentic part of that is there are a lot of people that do see you as perfect.
I know. I don't know why.
You don't know why?
Not a clue. I don't feel like I give off perfection at all. Like, I'm just here. But when people look at me and be like, oh my gosh, you have it all, that's when I feel like I can relate to them the best, because now I can tell you that I don't have it all, and I can list off things exactly what we go through, the same exact things. And I think that's what I love about my fan base, is, and what I try to share with them is, like, I can be as vulnerable as possible because I'm human. You can see me in an Aces uniform, you can see me in an Olympic jersey, and you may think I have it all figured out, but behind it all, not a clue. Living life just like you.
When you talk about being human, at your book signing in South Carolina, from what I understand, you stayed for 4 hours afterwards, signed every single book, took photos with fans, just seeing the hordes of people that were there for you.
I know. Unbelievable.
Just how did that, and you're in your home state.
Yeah.
How, just like, take me through that feeling. How was that?
It was incredible. It was like a lot of fun, because it's just like, it wasn't even for Asia, the basketball player. It was like Asia, the author. Like, people really loved my story. It was people in that room that literally probably read the book and was like, oh yes, I remember this. Like, I was with her on this day. And yet they still showed up and they showed out. And I mean, throughout my whole book tour, it was just the love that I got from people that were like, I didn't have a clue you were a basketball player. I kind of saw your face, but I really love this book. Like, this, where I gravitated to you the most, was just the greatest part about it all. It was like, I didn't have to dribble a basketball to be seen or heard, but I obviously used my platform for that. But no, it was like, no, you're real. Like, you're human. I could come and hug you. Like, young black girls were coming up and hugging me, and they were like, you're real. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And so those moments there are something that, like, they never get old, and I love those. And South Carolina's going to always stand up and show out for your girl, and I could always appreciate them for that.
I noticed that your smile got wide when you talked about, but wider now when you talked about the impact that these young girls have.
Man.
And they don't see you as a basketball player.
Yeah.
So you're an author, you're an entrepreneur with your candle company. What else, how else do you want them to see you?
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like that's me. Like, I just sometimes, I just want to like, want people to see the realness of it. Like, I feel like we get so caught up in, like, this life of fame, and people, like, you know, like that it's like slowly between just being private but also kind of being out. And sometimes I just want people, when they see me, just to know that I'm here, I'm real. Like, that's my biggest thing, is when, like I said, when kids see me and they're like, oh my God, they look at me like, no, I see you on TV, I'm not supposed to see you now. And I'm like, no, I'm human. Come give me a hug. Of course we can talk about what you had for lunch today. Like, I'm so down. These are the talks that I love the most. So when it comes to, like, what else I can do, is just be more in my community, be more of that face in different spaces where kids can relate to and be like, oh my God, yes, she came and ate lunch with me, or yes, she came to read a book to my class. Like, those little things, I feel like it's just the next step for Asia. And it's probably going to really be more when the basketball stops bouncing for me and I can really kind of dive into my community. But, like, I literally want to be that voice for the voiceless, for the youth, like, because they're our future. They're the ones that need that the most right now. It's just someone that they could be like, okay, I could do it. I could do it. I could see it. I could go achieve it. I could reach that goal, and I want to be that merchant for them.
So in addition to be perfectly imperfect, Asia Wilson being the standard is just honestly somewhat relatable.
That's it. Unapologetically me.
And I want to pivot to something that I would be remiss if I didn't get a chance to discuss while I have you. Of course, you have a partnership with Nike, but also there have been a lot of reaction to the timing of it all. And you tweeted out Psalm 37, chapter 37, verse 7, about patience. And how did it feel getting all that support from people, but also at the same time recognizing that we could be seeing something from you very soon?
It's funny because as soon as I tweeted that, I literally deleted the app from my phone. So I really didn't see the engagement, but I appreciate everyone that really kind of took that in because it is hard. But then after that, I tweeted, what is delayed is not denied. And I think that is so key in the life that I live. It's so key as to what's going on now about the whole conversation. And I'm grateful for it because it's just like one of those times where you just needed to kind of wait. Just wait, because it's delayed, but I'm sure it's not going to be denied. And I think my biggest thing when I'm thinking about it, when I'm talking about it, is like wanting people to know that this is great, that the conversation is happening. I'm so glad that I'm a part of it. But when this moment comes, just know that it was me. Like, I did this. This is me. Y'all are getting my project that we obviously took a team to help put it together. But at the end of the day, you're getting something that I took very, very seriously and that I don't take lightly because I know that it is very, very rare for me to be in these positions. So it's like when I am having those seats at the table, that it's not going to be just about me. It's going to be for others, the ones that laid the foundation down for me to get here, but also continuing to plant that seed for the next generation to see like, no, this is real. It may take a minute, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't have to take a minute for you for this next generation, but it's coming, and I'm not going anywhere. So the conversation that is around it, I love it because it's conversation that's needed. I love Barbershop Talk about it because it's like, it's about time people got hip. But now it's like the work is yet to come. Like, I'm still working on a lot of different things, figuring it all out. But just know what is delayed is not denied. And when that time comes, you are getting Asia Wilson project through and through, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
So I have something to look forward to?
What is delayed is not denied.
Tying this all together, I want to talk a little bit about your legacy.
Yeah.
We've talked about South Carolina, the W, up until even just your outside accomplishments. But I'm not trying to put the retirement early, but
no, you're fine.
When that happens, or even right now, what do you want your legacy to be?
I always say I want my legacy to be like, she was a great player. Like, she got the job done. She came to work every single day. She was hardworking. She got everybody involved. But the person that she is was someone that was like, no, that's her. Like, she was the one. And that's my legacy of how I see it. Obviously, I want to win. Obviously, I want to be great at everything. But when it comes to, like, on that other side, and when I take that jersey off and you still know the human that I am and what I stand for, and I stood 10 toes down on it, that's my legacy. It's like, no, she was the one that kind of shifted the culture and had everybody raise that eyebrow around. That's like, oh no, that's good. Like that's Asia. That's Asia right there. So that's my legacy. I want to constantly always, obviously you want to be talked about. No, you never want to fall off and people forget about you. But yeah, I want it to just be pure. I want it to be real and honest and just me.